I'm going to cut that. Evening, everyone. How is everyone doing? Welcome to Golden Goal. A little bit different today. You've got me hosting, giving George the evening off. So on that note, George, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. It's been a bit of a busy evening. I've had to do a cricket meeting and then rush to here. So get all my stuff ready to go to the game tomorrow. So apart from that, I'm all good, mate. How you doing? Good to have you back.
Yeah, I've been here, there, and everywhere, and not really on football YouTube for a little bit. Obviously, done little bits, but I haven't been on here for a while. So yeah, I'm looking forward because obviously I'm going to the game tomorrow as well. I haven't been since first game of the season, so I'm really looking forward to it. So we also have two more people introduced. Nick, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Enjoying Newcastle live and Newcastle United doing well and going to the Falcons. They don't have a home game this weekend, but next weekend I'll be going to the Falcons. But I can't complain, really.
Did you enjoy in the week?
I enjoyed listening to the match, and I thought we played very well. But then the decision at the end was disheartening, I thought.
Yeah, those refereeing decisions. You just got to get over it, mate.
Should tell some of the Arsenal fans that, George. You're still going back to it. We're going to be going back to it in years to come, I think, as well. Like in 6 years down the line, we'll be going, do you remember that game that we had against Newcastle?
It's like, oh, Alan, you're the man, ref. You're the man.
Have you seen that they're trialing it in semi-pro football, and they're going to have sin bins. And I was reading about it, and what they're going to do is that if the players crowd the ref, so it's just all about protecting the referees. It's not about anything else. So if they crowd the ref, they're going to be sent off for a period of 10 minutes, and the captain's going to be the only one allowed to talk to the ref for in the whole of the game. And I'm like, that's just rubbish. Like, how's that ever going to work?
They're not gonna. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna. They'll still crowd the referee. It's gonna.
Exactly.
Well, then they'll just get sent off, won't they? It's their own fault then.
Man United trying to.
And on that note, we go on. Johnny, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Yeah, I've been enjoying the football somewhat, so it's been all right.
Did you enjoy the week?
Oh, I mean, it was. I suppose it was an exciting-ish game, but it's just kind of typical Man United, isn't it? So
I tell you, that goalkeeper got absolute world class. He makes Tom Heaton look bad.
You have to search. The thing is, in the Champions League, you have to search that far down before you get to Man United. They're like, looking forward to playing back again on Thursday night.
I
it'll be all right.
I didn't realise Ziyech was that good at free kicks. I don't remember that.
Well, the players who go to Chelsea tend to be a bit ruined, don't they? So mad week of football.
And this week will be madness, I'm sure, as well. I wonder how many VAR decisions I'll get wrong this weekend. So, first of all, soon as me and George going, Arsenal Wolves, 3:00. I'm going to pass it over to. I'm going to leave George and mine opinion till last. I'm going to pass it over to Johnny first.
Well, I think it's a game with some interest, I suppose. I mean, you think Arsenal have the capability to win, don't they? So, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a massively high-scoring game, because I don't think Arsenal have been playing super attacking football. Perhaps they're more controlling games, which they didn't do so much last season. So, could perhaps see it being 2-0, 2-1, but.
Yeah, hold on a second there. Not playing attacking football yet. We won 6-0 in the week.
Yeah, but that's in European football. In the Premier League, they haven't played that attacking football.
But we're top of the league.
No, it doesn't matter. You can be top of the league and not be playing attacking football.
We've got a goal difference of +17.
Yeah, it's just not as
The only
attacking
team
as
that's
it
got
has
higher
been.
than that is Man City at +20.
Yeah. And I don't think Man City have been that attacking this season either. They haven't really been demolishing teams 4 or 5-0. They've been winning 1 or 2-0, haven't they? So, and I think Arsenal have been doing the same.
Have you been watching the same game of the same Premier League that I've been watching, or the Indian Premier League?
Well, I mean, they're the more attacking teams within the league, but if you compare it to previous seasons, they're not as attacking as it has been. I mean, in previous years, we've had Liverpool smashing in the goals.
How do you explain this one? I saw the stat the other day that Jeremy Doku for Man City has had more assists than all the teams put together. He's got 21. No, not assists. Sorry, attacking. So like what they call an attack that turns into a chance. So how is that not attacking football?
No, it's attacking, but teams haven't been scoring as many goals. I think they've just been controlling games more. I mean, if you look at Arsenal's,
confused.
if you look at
Nick, can you bring some like I don't know, some truth back?
Well, I think they have. I think they ran out of. Well, they have more. Their squad is depth is better than last season, which means you're not going to run out of steam. You have controlled quite a lot of games, and there have been you have created quite a bit of chances, but you're just not taking them. You just so I do think, well, Arsenal Wolves is going to be quite interesting because I think Wolves will try and be deep with their 3 centre backs, 2 wing backs, and try and not leave any space in behind their defence for Arsenal to run into. But I do think Arsenal will find a way, and I think they will get they'll get the win, and I think they do need to take advantage of the fact that the teams behind them are all playing Sunday. Is a great opportunity to pull ahead for 24 hours. So I'm going to say 3-0 win for Arsenal.
Nice. Pass it over to you, George.
Yeah, it's an interesting debate. I hate to say it, I kind of agree a little bit with Johnny. Like, we haven't been the attacking team we was last season. I don't think anyone can discount that. I think we've controlled a lot of games, and we have defensively, I think we're a lot stronger than we was last season. But that's because Saliba's fit, to be honest. That's all it's down to. And Tomiyasu. We have scored a fair few goals, but I think you got to put into it, like, we did beat Sheffield United 5-0, so that does help the goal difference quite a bit. But I'm not complaining. Like I say, if we won every game 1-0, I wouldn't care, because
do you think, though? I've just had a thought. Do you think that I think the rest of the teams, apart from the top 6 or 7, hasn't been as strong as they were last season, which is maybe why the games don't look as attacking as the other ones, because I can't remember many games where we've actually been kind of, I don't know, on the edge of losing, or sort of, it's been fairly straightforward, all the games that we've had so far.
Yeah, I think there's some teams that are not as good. Like, I don't think City are as good this season. I said it from couple weeks into the season, and everyone laughed at me. They was like, "Oh no, but it's City." Yeah, like I've always said. I think I've said it to Johnny as well. Like, City can be got at defensively. I've always said it. And then if they have Rodri out, which there's a chance he could be out again next week if he gets booked this week, that's another. Like, you think they lost 3 games or 2 games, whatever it was, when he wasn't playing. So
it was 2. They lost 2 games when he was banned last time, because they lost to Arsenal in the Premier League, and then Newcastle beat them in the League Cup.
Then they lose to Wolves as well.
No, Rodri played that game, I think.
Okay. But anyway, whatever. They still lost anyway. Apart from Liverpool, I don't see anyone else as a bit of a threat to that top. Like Aston Villa are doing really well, but they're not going to stay at it. Obviously, Tottenham won the Premier League in October and then threw it away. And as soon as November, Ange ball that.
Oh, we've technical difficulties with George. He keeps flashing in and out. Well, we'll come back to him. I'm going to, I'll speak. So, tomorrow, Wolves always seem to be a little bit of a dicky team for Arsenal for some reason. They always seem to play completely out of their skins when they come up against us. I still think we should have more than enough to beat them. But I don't think, like it's been mentioned, I don't think there's going to be that many goals in it. So that's that one really. Come back to George on his on the rest of what he was going to say when he's back. So next of all, I'm going to skip a couple of games because I don't think Brentford and Luton's going to be a massive turnout. I don't think it's going to be a fantastic game of football, neither that of Burnley and Sheffield United. So next up, I wanted to speak about Nottingham Forest and Everton because I think this is quite an interesting game, actually, looking at it. I'm going to come to Nick first. What do you reckon about this one?
It's pretty hard to call. Everton, they had a really good run, and then they got hit with the point deduction, and then the first match after that, Man United, first half they had loads of chances, didn't take them, and then they were punished. Man United just punished them in the second half. So I think they need to bounce back and get a result here. But Forest prefer playing. I think Forest this season have been better than last season. Their home form is still very good, and will help them. But they've improved away. So I think Gibbs White and Alanga are probably the key players for Forest, with them on 90 injured for the next few months. So I think that's a bigger blow. So it's going to be quite interesting. I think I'm going to go for probably going to say a 1-1 draw on this one.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was thinking, what do I expect from this game? I expect there to be not much in it. I expect it to be probably goals, a couple little bits of kind of like brilliance to win this game. I think it will be 2-1 Forest because I think Everton and now are going to feel like the complete world's against them and may be concentrating on other things rather than the games at hand. George, what do you think?
Yeah, sorry about that. I had a group call.
Good. Man, we can't keep you for very long.
No,
I wasn't. I was trying to cut it off so it didn't.
Well, we've got you back.
Yeah, I think Forest will probably win that 3-1 because at home it's a different team, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, Everton think the world's against. It could go either way. Like Everton could unite them, which I don't think it will.
No,
they have that sort of mentality, but yeah, like you got to think. I thought Forest done alright against Brighton, didn't they? Can't remember who it was.
Yeah, they've done, and as well. When I went to see Arsenal and Forest first game of the season, I predicted that they would go down based on that first game. But they picked up some form. I think they've got the players there, the players that they want to start performing have started picking up for them. So I think it's going to help. And I think Everton. I think, like you just mentioned, if I think about it, I can only see Everton. They'll just sit and cry about it. I think. So yeah, Johnny, anything that we kind of already answered? Anything?
Yeah,
We'll move on. So this is a really interesting one, actually. This is one of the ones when I put on my bet tomorrow of all the games I'll probably leave out. Newcastle Man United. Going to leave Nick till last, of course. Have we got Johnny back? Are you there? Going to take that as a no. George, what are you saying?
Who's this? Newcastle.
Newcastle and Man United. With Newcastle playing at home.
I think Newcastle will be like the favourites. Obviously, United showed they can concede goals, but they kind of blew Everton apart the other last weekend. I think it'll be a game. I think there'll be goals for both teams.
Yeah, I think it could be like a high scoring game. This one.
It'll be one of
attacking game of football. Although Johnny won't like that because he doesn't like attacking football.
It'll either be 4-2 or 2-1 to Newcastle. I'm just not sure. I'm hoping it's I don't know, 2-0 or. To be fair, actually, I wouldn't mind a draw because this keeps Newcastle down there in their rightful place.
Huh. Johnny, have we got you back?
Yeah, I think. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
we can.
Yeah, I had the same group call as George did, so it upset things a bit.
So what I mentioned when George is away, George thinks it's going to be an attacking game of football, and I said you won't like that because attacking football is not for you. What's your thoughts on Newcastle Man United?
Oh well, yeah, we don't want that to be an attacking game of football, do we? Because I mean, probably expect Newcastle to win, but I suppose it's interesting because they both had a bit of disappointment midweek, and Newcastle exerted themselves quite a bit. So maybe it'll be slightly more equal, possibly. But as a Man United fan, I probably would expect it to be something like 2-1 to Newcastle, unfortunately. But it's just the way things are at the moment.
I think that's a fair reflection, to be fair.
It really does. Honestly, does it you, George? It really hurts me that Man United aren't doing so well.
No, not really.
Oh, I absolutely love it. It's wonderful.
No,
it is wonderful.
It is a fair reflection. Like with United fans, I know Abdi has been quite vocal about it. I just don't think United, like Johnny can tell me if I'm wrong, I just don't think they can back United with any confidence when it's coming into a game, which it just shows the levels that they've sunk. Really, I'm sorry, they should not have drew 3-3 in the week.
Yeah, I look at it as well though, and I look at it as they shouldn't be playing with the centre backs that they should be playing with. That shouldn't be allowed to happen.
That goes back to the Glazers, doesn't it? Because I refuse to believe that Eric Ten Hag took that United job and said, you know what, Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans, the future of Man United. I just don't. And Sergio,
He strikes me as like a very kind of technical manager, and a technical manager isn't going to want to play out from the back with Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, is he?
It reminds me of Arsenal when we lost. I hate to say it, when we lost 8-2 and we rushed out and bought Andre Santos, who was only famous for swapping his shirt at half time.
What a guy.
Yeah,
we can look back at all these players and think, oh, we can laugh, but at the time there was nothing to laugh about at all when we had the defenders that we had.
Yeah, I don't know, Man United are the sort of team as well. They could go and pull out a result once in a while. So I wouldn't if Man United went to Newcastle and got a result, I wouldn't be I'd be pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't be saying, "Oh, that's a big upset." I'm not, but I don't know. I fear for United when they play teams like Liverpool. But
I think that's game week 17, Liverpool.
yeah, I'll be captain in Salah that game. But now Luke Shaw's back, so I think that is a big point that has not been mentioned. Luke Shaw is back, and
But yeah, he links up very well with Rashford on the wing. So, and I think that, Rashford hasn't been on form at all this season. So perhaps that
You
will
need
help
more
him
than
find a
two
bit of
players
form.
playing well in your team to win a game, though.
yeah, and that's the issue. Like Garnacho's doing well. I like him. Hoyland.
Yeah, he's done okay, hasn't he? Well, he's more Champions League goals. I don't think he's scored in the Premier League yet, has he? So
So be interesting. It'll be a good game to watch.
Yeah, I think it will be. I don't think I'll be tuning in because I just can't stand to watch Man United. It's just boring. It always has been.
One of those things I will say is that what Johnny said, Newcastle did really exert themselves
mhm.
week, and Newcastle don't have a squad at the minute, so that is something that could play into United.
I think I see this one being a draw, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd be happy with a draw.
I don't think either team's going to fly away with it. I think it'll either be a draw or 2-1. Johnny, I'll leave it up to you to give us Newcastle's point of view.
Newcastle. Well,
Oh no!
you should really give it to Nick. I don't know why you're giving it to me.
Yeah.
Nick, bit of a blooper.
Yeah.
We'll add that to the blooper reel.
Yeah, no problem. So Newcastle, it's a tough game for Newcastle. It's at home. So we'll have the fans support under light, which will be good. Yes, the injuries are concerning, and we haven't got anyone back that's injured. There were, but Mino Kraft and Matt Ritchie will be in the squad because they are not part of the Champions League squad. I thought last week, if I was thinking draw, I was thinking now when I didn't think we would win so convincingly last week against Chelsea, but hey ho. I think with my nice performances, I fancy Newcastle's chances here. It'll be hard fought, but I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win for Newcastle.
That's just the VAR decisions.
Just to update on other news, England are actually being beaten by the Netherlands 2-0 in the women's.
Yeah, scored.
They if they fail to win, they cannot top their group, which is required for automatic qualification for the Olympics. Ooh.
Game.
So,
Even if they top the group, they've got to win it. They've got to win it. They've got to win it, or they go to actually win the Nations League outright to get to the Olympics.
okay.
The Arsenal players that played are better for me, so I'm happy.
I think Mead's playing, to be fair, but
I don't know if Miedemar is for Holland.
I've got no idea. I don't think so. I don't think she's back. Well, she'll only just come back in for us. So I would be very surprised if she is. So moving on to Sunday's games. I'm going to skip to the second one on my list, which is Chelsea-Brighton. I think this one could be really interesting. Chelsea kind of somewhat half-heartedly gaining a bit of form here and there. But still look, like a Chelsea I've certainly never seen before. Well, that is apart from when they weren't very good at all, but we won't go there. George, what do you think to this one?
I think this could be a bit of a battering for Brighton, and people probably look at me like, "What you on about?" They've hardly got any defence. They've got quite a few suspensions, injuries, like Dunk's suspended, Lamptey, Stupinian, and I think they're out injured. There was someone else who's out injured. So, and I think Chelsea are going to want to bounce back from Newcastle. I think if Reece James don't get sent off, I don't think that stays as 4-1 personally. But Brighton are like in Europe, they seem to be doing really well. But in the league, I said this. I don't think they've been able to cope with the European football Thursday, Sunday sort of thing. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3-0 Chelsea.
Yeah, well, I don't think they've really got a squad that's big enough to sustain them for the whole of the season in the Premier League. So I think it stretches them like way too far to be in Europe as well. But I don't know. I don't know. I think it could be. If I had to guess a score off the top of my head, I think it would be 2-0 Chelsea. But yeah, what do you reckon, Nick?
I'm going to go, because Brighton played Thursday night and had to travel to Greece and back, and their defence is being depleted. I'm going Chelsea win here because they want to bounce back from the last match, and the way they played was not amazing. There's possibility Nkunku could finally play for Chelsea in this game. And then
he'll be on the bench. He ain't starting.
No, but at least he'll finally get to play for Chelsea, which is a positive.
But I wish he was somewhere else at the minute, though.
Probably, but they have Sterling, they have Palmer. They've got. I just feel Chelsea are going to win this one just because they've had more time to prepare than Brighton, and I'm going to say 3-0 Chelsea win.
Johnny, what do you think?
I think they're probably two opposite teams in some ways. I mean, Chelsea have been a fairly good defence this year, statistically at least. And Brighton, I don't think they've kept a single clean sheet all season. And then you look, the attacks are kind of vice versa. Brighton, fairly good attack. Chelsea, never quite sure what you're going to get from their attack. Some weeks they're decent, other weeks they're atrocious. So I think it could be, you'd expect Chelsea to score against Brighton. But maybe I'd predict 3-1. I think Brighton could score against them.
Yeah, I didn't really think of it like that. Like, apart from the City and Finney game, Newcastle game, Chelsea have not been the easiest team to score against. Like, it's like if they had I honestly believe if they had a proper centre forward, they'll probably be in like the top 6. The amount of chances they've had like this season,
and they're just not taking them.
No, they're not.
They don't have a centre forward.
Obviously, like you think they did recently. Like, I'll be honest, they should have beat us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They probably should have beat City if that weren't for another dodgy VAR decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they don't get many goals conceded against them. And I think the person who's brought that sort of dynamic to a defence is Levi Colwill. And I think he don't get as much credit as he should. Like, he'll play at left back tomorrow or Sunday. So obviously because Cucurella's suspended and that, but yeah, I think he's very underrated. Colwill.
Right. So the other games, you've got some quite good games on Sunday actually. Liverpool, Fulham, but nobody really wants to talk about Liverpool. No, I'm going to skip over that one because I think that would be fairly one-sided. And we know
hopefully loads of goals for Salah.
There he is with his fantasy football. See, this is the thing I don't like about fantasy football. Yeah, it's good fun to do it each week, but you end up like rooting for players from teams that you actually dislike to get points.
But I don't pick players from Tottenham.
Yeah, I don't pick anybody from Tottenham, to be fair.
And I've got I've gone top of the league without having Tottenham players, so it proves it.
Yeah.
So I think this would be a really good game of football to watch, actually. So it's West Ham and Crystal Palace. I'm going to start
That's
with
the
Johnny.
Sky
Okay,
game, 2 o'clock. That's on Sky. That's the Sky Sports 2 p.m. kickoff on Sunday.
yeah. What do you think, Johnny?
I suppose again, West Ham, they're a team who can't really defend particularly well again this season. So I don't know. Crystal Palace aren't exactly free scoring though, are they? So it might end up being a bit of a boring game, because Crystal Palace can defend quite well. Maybe it'll end up being 1-1.
See, I think it'll they'll call it a London derby. It's hardly one of them, but that's what they'll call it. So both teams won't want to lose the game. So I think that's what could make it quite interesting. Both teams, like you say, on paper aren't doing fantastically. West Ham came to my local team, Lincoln City, and they probably should have got beat there. And it made me laugh because for the whole duration of the game, all they were singing is "Champions of Europe." You'll never sing that, and I'm thinking, well, a League One team technically isn't going to win the Champions League, are they? Or the fake Europa League, what they won. So, George, what do you think to that game?
I went to the West Ham away cup game, and that's all they kept singing.
I know.
Because as our good old friend Big Man Jonesy would say, just because you're the European champions of the galaxy, don't mean anything else. But I think I agree with Johnny. I think it's going to be an absolute bore fest. I think they're going to be so bothered about not conceding to each other. It all depends if Palace have Eze. I know he's doubtful, but they've lost Decore, so Decore is a big loss for them. And if Bowen plays for West Ham, I don't know if he will, but I don't know. I would say it's like 1-1. It does make me laugh when I see West Ham scoring late winners against teams we never heard of, and then they say they're better.
Serbian team. I never heard of this Serbian team they were playing.
And then they say they're better without Declan Rice. Okay. you crack on. Declan sitting top of the perch. But yeah. The problem is, Palace are alright. I find Hodgson boring for me.
Yeah.
Like Palace are sort of they
Good
can play,
old Wardy.
but oh boy. I don't know. It's really hard to call, but I don't think it's going to be a thriller. Like I'd say 1-1. There won't be a clean sheet in that game. But 0-0 will be, wouldn't it?
Nick, any other thoughts?
Well, I'm glad I'm going to BI Tennis on Sunday when this is on, because the way West Ham played on last night, because I listened to the whole game on TalkSport 2, and they were awful. West Ham, they were very lucky that they didn't. It should have been a draw, and the other team should have possibly won it. So how West Ham won that, I don't know. Palace, they've been doing okay this season. But their key players have been injured, and I just don't find them exciting. So I think this is going to be. I'm going to say it's going to end in a draw, probably 1-1. It's not going to be too exciting.
Cool. I've just lost the day. There we are. I'm going to skip over the half four and ask your thoughts on Wimbledon and Ramsgate in the second round of the FA Cup on Monday night. George, what do you think to that one?
Big game, mate. Big game.
Isn't it?
Fancy Ramsgate, FA Cup, why not?
Yeah, why not? We'll go back now to the less important game, Man City and Tottenham. Half four. I won't be tuning in. I I've never heard of the two teams before personally. I don't quite know. Do you know anything about them, Nick?
Man City, only treble winners from last season, and they got a really good team.
Oh, really?
They
Don't forget they
made
picked
heavy
Arsenal
weather of
last year,
Champions
didn't
League
they?
last. Well, Tuesday night they made heavy weather of beating Leipzig, giving them a 2-goal lead.
Oh, thanks for educating me, lads. I didn't know that. And then the other team, I've heard they thought they were going to win the league, and they're not so much anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to win the league. We're going to win the league. Fast forward to a week later. Oh, we're not going to do it anymore.
No.
Nah, their squad's just not good enough, is it? To be honest, a few injuries and they don't have anyone, do they? So
I think it's just the team. I think they could have the best squad in the world. They could have Mbappe up front and all the wingers in the world, but somehow they'd still find a way to lose.
Well, there is the term Spursy, isn't there? So
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want a reflection on the game itself, I mean, probably Man City will win, won't they? Spurs have too many injuries. Haaland will probably score as usual. So
Yeah, I don't know really.
I mean, Spurs have done a number on them in the past a few times, haven't they?
Tottenham always seem to kind of turn up and play against the bigger teams when the pressure is completely off them. Like nobody will come in expecting them to get anything from this game. Man City haven't been fantastic. That 4-3 in the week will have taken a lot out of them because they've had to spend 90 minutes like giving it their everything. And what was it? Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday,
Tuesday
Saturday?
night.
Tuesday night.
Because
Oh yeah, we played on Wednesday, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was that easy on Wednesday. George, what do you think to the game?
I think it's as simple as if Tottenham play the way they play, mate. It will be an easy Man City win.
Trying to give Man United some points, are you?
That Eurovision, I just felt sorry. Yeah, Man easy City win because you played a high block against Man City and they'll crucify you. But I never want Tottenham to win. But they have done a number. The only thing I will say is they do the number on City at home, not really away.
And it's at the Etihad, so you won't expect Tottenham to do number on Man City.
Yeah, and I think their playing styles changed quite a lot from when they were doing a number on their teams. You had Mourinho, Conte.
Yeah.
That's kind of their idea of fun, whereas the sort of high-line football they play now, I think that just plays more into City's hands.
Yeah, I agree.
Son will probably pop up with a goal, as he always seems to against City, but I mean, City will probably win 3-1 or something.
I just think, like, you got Haaland, Doku, Grealish, potentially Alvarez against Emerson Royale and Ben Davies.
Doku is something. He's unbelievable. The money because obviously I went to see the Man City Brighton game at Man City, and I just sat and watched him all game. Yes, he was playing against a defence that's poor, but they just didn't get anywhere near him for the money they paid for him. Because I asked one of the City fans, "Oh, how much did you pay for him?" And then I can't remember the figure that he gave me, but it wasn't that much. And he is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
I will watch the game because basically what I would like to see happen is a 3-3 draw and both teams get loads of injuries.
George, quick one. Are you doing another show on Monday to preview the Tuesday and Wednesday games? Because I know there's midweek ones. Or do you want to run through quickly? Because
So we'll be doing a show on Monday. So Hubert will be after his guide dog training. So there'll be a couple of shows next week.
Cool. We won't do that then. We've got to the end of the games, really. I was just looking to see if there's any other games of football that are interesting, but it's still the second round of the FA Cup, so big teams going to that next time.
FA Cup draws on Sunday at 1 p.m.
Okay, ace. So we should know our fate of that then.
Yeah.
Knowing our luck, we'll end up like getting a massive team, like we always seem to do in these competitions. We never seem to get it the easy way, and then Man City will somehow get the lowest ranked team. It's
Well, if you've seen what Newcastle with the League Cup, we've had Man City, Man United, Chelsea.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because I reckon City might get the team who's ranked 115 in the cup.
mm-hmm. There is
Yeah.
quite a few. I'm just looking down the
So
looking down the games as well. There is quite a few games called off as well tomorrow already.
I'm surprised. Well, Championship should go ahead because they've got a lot of Championship teams have been in the Premier League. So
yeah,
they should
the Championship teams are going ahead, but there's a couple in there's one in the FA Cup, two in Scotland, a couple in the National League.
I know.
So
Gateshead
there is quite a few that's being called off already.
Well, Gateshead are definitely not playing.
But yes, we have kind of reached the end of the games, really. Is there any other further points that anybody would like to add?
No.
Okay.
Not from me.
We will go around in a circle then. Nick, where can people find you?
On X at Nicholas Pages. And then I got my own Facebook and going to different things. So yeah.
Johnny, where can they find you?
No, I'm not on X, so you can't actually find me.
Oh, okay.
You'll find him in Cambridge.
you might find me there tomorrow, yeah, if you want to know.
Is there an address? Are we going to give away his house address as well as telling you where he is? George, where can they find you?
So you can find me at George AWFC, doing a lot of stuff with the women's game with the red and white, and also the odd occasion on Arsenal Fans Forever with Jonesy and Liam. So yeah, I'm kind of everywhere really.
Cool. You can find me. I actually did this the other day, George. I went back on my Twitter because obviously I don't use Twitter very much. Went back on my Twitter and found out, if ever, that I've given out the loads of times that I've given out my Twitter, if I've ever got anybody following me from YouTube, and I don't think I ever have. So my not Twitter, I still call it Twitter. I'm never going to change calling it Twitter. So it's Sam Wilson AFC with the one in the space of the I, and Sam Wilson AFC on Instagram. That's where I post more. So yeah, cheers to anybody that's tuned in. There'll be a show on Monday, I think, to preview Tuesday and Wednesday's games. Nick's left us before we finished.
Yeah.
Does
that.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the games this weekend. Until we see you next time, have a nice evening.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks.